Holy Week comprises the 7 most sacred days of the Christian year. In Advent, we waited with expectation for the promised Messiah. In Christmas, he became flesh and dwelt among us. In Epiphany-tide, he revealed to us his glory, and in Lent, he set his face toward Jerusalem where he would die. Throughout these seasons, liturgical time moves much faster than historical time, where decades of Jesus' life are recalled in but a few weeks. In Holy Week, liturgical time slows way down. Each day in Holy Week corresponds to a real historical day in the week leading up to Jesus' resurrection. The week begins on Palm Sunday. To commemorate Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem, we start the service outside and process into the nave carrying palm branches and singing hosannas like the Israelites did. The Gospel reading on this day is a special participatory reading of the Passion of our Lord. When it comes to the part where Pilate asks the crowd what should be done with Jesus, the whole congregation says aloud, "Crucify him." This uncomfortable moment reminds us that, on one hand, we are like those who worship the Lord with hosannas, yet we are also like those who called for his death. While services can be held on Holy Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the next service held at All Souls will be on Maundy Thursday, which begins the Triduum, or the Great 3 Days. This evening service of Holy Communion commemorates the Last Supper and the washing of the disciples' feet. It gets its name from the Latin mandatum, or commandment, because of Jesus' commandment to love one another, which he gave that night. The service ends with the stripping of the altar, where virtually everything is removed from the chancel in preparation for Good Friday. Though we know that Jesus is with us always, there is a haunting sense in which the stripping of the altar signals to us that Jesus is briefly unavailable. Just as he was taken from the disciples in the Garden of Gethsemane, so also do we find him symbolically taken from us in this very jarring moment. We gather again on the most solemn day of the year, Good Friday. On this day, we remember Jesus' crucifixion. Holy Communion is not celebrated, and we instead have a brief and poignant service of prayer. Finally, we come to Holy Saturday. On Saturday evening, we celebrate the Great Vigil of Easter, a beautiful and elaborate service which proclaims the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. It begins in darkness with the lighting of the Paschal candle, which represents the light of Christ. From this candle, the people light their own candles as they do on Christmas Eve. We then sing the Exultet, an ancient prayer of rejoicing reserved exclusively for this service. Then comes the Liturgy of the Word, which consists of readings from the Old Testament and songs which tell the story of God's saving work in history. At last, we arrive at the moment we've all been waiting for, the acclamation. The priest shouts, "Alleluia, Christ is risen," and the people reply, "The Lord is risen indeed, Alleluia." Everyone then makes a thunderous sound with bells and noisemakers, and the Gloria is sung for the first time since before Lent. The liturgy typically continues with baptism and communion. It's a big service. This service, along with all the services of Holy Week, are the climax of the Christian year. They're some of the most beautiful liturgies used in the church, and we hope that you'll join us as we walk through them together this year. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to worshiping with you.